Hi, this is Micornus, Phokane, the leader and the founder of the Young Men Empowerment Forum. I'm continuing with the topic that we started, steps to become more resilient in life. And that's what I want to just shape you up as a young man to become more resilient, because it is very important. Life is about resilience. And people that are resilient, they become successful. People that are resilient and never give up easily are the people that become groundbreakers in life. And I want to urge you as a young man that you need to become resilient in life in order to become a groundbreaker, in order to become an innovator, in order to become a better person who's a trendsetter, of course, somebody that would set an example and become a role model to others as well. Now, life is about shaping yourself up in the beginning. You need to be resilient as a young man. And today, to become resilient, I want to say to you, cultivate relationships. If you want to become resilient in life, please cultivate relationships. And I want to start by saying, life is about relationships. There's no way you're going to survive by living in isolation in life. We are social human beings, and God has put a gene in us as human beings to become social, to become relational, to become related to other people. And everything else that you do in isolation, remember, you're denying yourself opportunity to become a better person. Now, resilience is brought about by cultivating relationships. So in life, we need relationships. So therefore, we need to cultivate those relationships, because they're the only one that will launch us or put a launch pad to our success in life. Your career is actually dependent on people around you. Your success in life is actually dependent on people around you. The success of your business is dependent on people around you. Success in your studies and breakthrough in everything that you do is dependent on people. And I want to emphasize this, that even answers of prayers, if you are praying and trusting God that God will bless you with something that you're praying for, remember, it is going to be answered through people. So don't pray and look up to heaven. Pray and look around to cultivate the relationships that are around you that will become an answer to the prayers that you're praying. This is very important, that we understand that God uses people to answer our prayers. So therefore, if you want to go become successful in life and see a breakthrough, particularly in this year, become resilient. But how to become resilient? Please cultivate those relationships. Develop and nurture a broad network of people. A broad network of people that may be on friendly basis. These people will be support to your life. And that is why we call them significant ones, because they are the people that will be with them when you walk in dry land, when you are faced up with situations that are challenging you, when you are actually in darkness that you may not know how to come out. And I want to urge you, as a young man, that those relationships around you, develop them, but not only develop them, but nurture them. Because there are people that are able to develop relationships, but they're not able to nurture them and to take care of those relationships. And because they are not able to nurture relationships, they develop so many relationships, but all those relationships crumble down and don't benefit them, because they destroy the very same relationships that they've started. But I'm emphasizing that you need to nurture those relationships. And one of the methods of nurturing relationships is constant communication with those people. Make sure that you communicate with them closely. Make sure that you communicate constantly and continuously, because the more you are actually communicating with the people that you have a relationship with, the more you're nurturing that relationship. And another thing that I want to emphasize as nurturing relationship is to make sure that you don't become parasitic in nature in those relationships. Make sure that you're not parasitic and you are actually able to give, not only to receive. And this is very important. And I want to emphasize that when you become a receiver only and you're not a giver, you're not nurturing those relationships. You're not looking after those relationships. So therefore, relationships like that, they're going to dissipate and be away from you. And therefore, you will find yourself lonely again at a corner where there's nobody around you who will step in and be with you. So therefore, it is very important to cultivate relationships by nurturing them, developing them first, and also nurture them. And as I said, nurture them by communication, nurture them by giving into those relationships, not only to become receivers. Nurture them by making sure that you're polite to those people as you communicate to them. Don't be rude. Don't be harsh to people. Deal with them in a civil manner. Deal with them in a respectful manner. Respect the very same individuals that you are related with. Honor the very same relationships, the same people that you relate with. People destroy relationships because of lack of respect. If you don't respect the people that you relate with, you are going to lose that relationship. And I'm emphasizing this to you as a young man, that even in your marriage, some of you who are married, if you don't respect your own relationship, you don't respect the person that you're married to, you're going to lose that relationship. So therefore, nurture the relationship by making sure that you respect the individual that you're involved with in that relationship. You respect the people that you are engaged with in the relationship. And that's very important. So please make sure that you develop and nurture broader networks. Let it be networks that are professional. Some of the networks are business related. Some of the networks are just purely friends. Some of the networks are actually around career guidance. Some of the networks are more spiritually inclined. So it's different types of networks that would be in your life, but basically these relationships are very important to you. Make sure that you identify relationships that are detrimental to your life, that may be dangerous, that may be leading you astray. Please terminate those. But those that are important in your life, that will drive you to greener pastures of your life, to the future that is bright, make sure that you develop them and nurture them. Make sure that you broaden your network of personal and must be also professional relationships, as I said. But as I say, those that are connected to you, maybe in spiritual basis as well. So different types of relationships for different reasons, but they are contributing towards your well-being and your maturity in life. So as a young man, please make sure that you cultivate relationships. Finally, today, I want to emphasize that if you want to be more resilient in life, pay attention to self-identity. Pay attention to self-identity, which is who you are, your identification. From identity apart from your job. Formulate that. And make sure that you don't identify yourself based on your job. There are people that identify themselves based on their careers, identify themselves based on their skills and so on. So I want you to identify yourself inner being, that even when you are not applying that skill on the public platform, even when you're not with the people that know you on that public platform, but the real you suffice and comes up to sustain you as well. Because people come to a point where while they're popular, they are financially sound and rich and wealthy, but still commit suicide, is people without self-identity. Because they have identified themselves through the money that they have. There are people that identify themselves with the type of cars and expensive cars that they drive, the houses that they stay in, the neighborhood that they're staying in. And if you identify yourself based on material things, remember, your life is not all about material. Your life is something more deeper than that. And life is more serious than material. And I want to emphasize this, that pay attention to your self-identity. Know yourself. Remember that material things cannot bring value to you. You are valuable yourself, by yourself. So therefore, you will add value to the material things instead of vice versa. So don't actually think that expensive clothes will add value to you. Don't identify yourself by how you dress. Don't identify yourself with expensive clothes, with the group of people that you do. And that is why our young men today, they are lost in drugs. They are lost in gangsterism. They are lost in wrong behaviors because they identify themselves in a group with people. They identify themselves with what they do, with things like gangsterism and how they relate and how they do things. And that is not the real you, because you'll realize that even after you parted ways with the people that you were with, the people that you were excited to be with, when you are alone, that's when you are faced up with yourself. And that is the reason why I emphasize that people that have got the right self-identity, they're able to deal with themselves alone when they are at their own corner alone. They are able to actually deal with themselves more civilly with themselves when they are alone. They are able to cope with themselves when they are alone. And as a young man, are you able to deal with yourself alone? Are you able to live a life of being alone but not lonely? Because loneliness is not the absence of people, but loneliness is inability to identify yourself. It's lack of self-identity. And that is the reason why people are lonely to an extent that they want to commit suicide in their lives. I want to urge you as a young man that rise up above that and become somebody who knows who you are. And self-identity comes along with the topic that we dealt with earlier, which speaks about identifying a purpose. Because when you identify your purpose, then you found yourself. When you find your purpose, you found yourself. When you identify your purpose, you identify yourself. So this is very important. They are so interlinked to an extent that purpose, therefore, helps you to identify yourself. And therefore, when you identify yourself, you become self-confident. You are able to face life better because you know that it is not material things that add in value to you. Rather, you add value to the material things. And the people that you are around, they're not adding value. And that is why, as a young man, don't run after people of big names. Don't run after popular people. Don't run around, after celebrities and think that they will add value to you. You are valuable yourself without them. And I want to emphasize that. Please identify yourself, know who you are, and have value yourself as you are. And don't try to rub shoulders with people and that you think they will add value to you. I've seen people taking pictures with popular people and famous people and say, I'm rubbing shoulders with great people. And I want to emphasize that let people start rubbing shoulders with you because you are a great person by one, identifying yourself, and secondly, being able to know your purpose and pursuing it. I want to end up here today. Your host, Micornus Phokane. Thank you very much for listening to us and being part of this great topic. And I believe that you've learned something out of this. You are going to be a better person after learning this. May the good Lord bless you. I want to urge you to listen to these many other videos that were posted on YouTube. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Micornus Phokane. Make sure that you click the notification button. Follow us on our Facebook page, Young Men Empowerment Forum. Our Facebook page, Micornus Phokane. That's where we are. These are the platforms. Like those pages. Make sure that you get these videos and they will uplift you and you'll become a better person as a young man. May the good Lord bless you. Allow me to check out here right now and say cheers for now.